proud to be your governor, even in difficult times. This past week, past 10 days has been hard on all of us. Losing 23 Kentuckians, it hurts. And there's a lot of families out there that are hurting very badly. We even lost a child in Hart County. These are Kentuckians deeply missed in their communities, and we hope that everyone across the country will pray for them, but then support them in every way possible in the coming days, months, and years. In the days since the flooding, we've seen a fast response, and that includes an emergency disaster declaration that was turned around very quickly by the President. I know Secretary Noem made that happen, and I'm grateful. We saw an expedited major disaster declaration for 11 counties, and we'll be pushing to add additional counties. As a reminder, these counties are Breathitt, Clay, Floyd, Harlan, Knott, Lee, Letcher, Martin, Owsley, Perry, and Pike. Because of the expedited major disaster declaration, our people now have the opportunity for individual assistance. That means they can get some emergency help, some dollars. It means they can get money for cleaning supplies, and it means that they can apply for up to about $42,000 to help get their life back on track. I heard it from the acting administrator of FEMA yesterday, a desire by this administration to help our people to rebuild, and I absolutely believe it. We also now qualify for public assistance for local governments and for state government. This is going to be at least in the hundreds of millions of dollars of damage to public infrastructure, and so this was incredibly important to get this help from the federal government. And today, thanks to Administrator Loeffler, the U.S. Small Business Administration has authorized a program that will allow disaster loans for 22 counties. Apparently, our paperwork was good enough to where a couple counties in West Virginia and in Virginia have also been approved. They haven't said thank you yet, but we want them to get help too. These are our fellow Americans, and so we're proud to do our part. Today, I was in both Perry and in Knott County. I was in the initial intake centers for FEMA because FEMA didn't wait for the full disaster recovery centers, which will be open this weekend and beginning next week. They wanted to make sure there's a place people could go now. I met great people from FEMA who are doing their best for our people. I was told over 90 individuals have already stopped in the intake center in Knott County, and I got to see these FEMA reps sitting down with them, working through their challenges, and just want to say I saw a lot of caring people that have come into our state that want to do their best. Good news yesterday from the acting administrator. We are going to have people from the National Processing Center where the final decisions are made here on the ground. When that happened in 2022, about 2 weeks after, a lot changed. And so that was a request I made. Secretary Noem responded very quickly, very favorably, and that's going to really help the people of Kentucky. I also got to thank our judges, our first responders, our EM directors, the National Guard, and a lot of people in person. And I got to talk with folks that have been through this before, who, because of the experience of going through the worst of the worst in 2022, were ready. We knew this was coming, and there were 0 deaths in Perry County and in Knott County, and each of them had far too many fatalities before. I want to once again remind people about the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund. Now, it appears we have enough money to pay for all of the funerals, and we'll be able to provide some more help. I'd say we talked to one of those we lost, his widow, still attempting to gain access to different accounts and life insurance. And this is the first help that she's received, and I know there'll be more, but just to hear about that shows how important this is to be there for our people. Part of the long-term recovery includes disaster recovery centers, working to get those set up this weekend and the beginning of next week. Those are going to have more than a dozen federal agencies that are all there in one area for people to get help, and a lot of state agencies too. We learned a lot in 2022. Our goal is to make this the easiest process it can be on people who've gone through a lot. Once you've been traumatized by a natural disaster, you don't need to be traumatized by the process after which. I do want to say that FEMA's got a lot of rules that Congress puts on them, so we do want to be patient with them as people. But to our people, to Kentuckians, don't stop if you're denied. We're ready to keep pushing and pushing for you. We want you to get some relief at the end of this. In addition to FEMA personnel, representatives from the Kentucky Office of Unemployment Insurance, the Kentucky Department of Insurance, and the U.S. Small Business Administration, among others, will be in those centers. But again, I want to close by thanking Secretary Noem, thanking President Trump for getting this done. There was zero politics played in any of this. They turned it around. They did their jobs, and I'm grateful for the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And while I know there's different discussion that's out there about the future, I can tell you the present. They did what we needed and are continuing to do what we need. So I'm grateful. Thank you all very much. To our Kentucky journalists, I'll answer questions if you've got them tomorrow after our Team Kentucky update. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, are we set?